A Wizard of Earthsea is a 1968 novel by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is the coming of age of one Ged, though he starts off life as Dunny or Sparrowhawk. Uh, very much a Bildungsroman, suitable for younger audiences. Ged grows up learning simple magic from a local witch. When his island is raided, essentially by Vikings, Earthsea being an archipelago, he uses his magic to help the defenders. This gives him a spot with a wizard, which teaches him, or who teaches him, his true name. This mage is Ogion. After some time with his mentor, who attempts to teach him equilibrium, but is somewhat boring in his ways as a Ged, he goes to school for boys learning magic on the Isle of Roke. These will become sorcerers, mages, and wizards. This is essentially the idea of the story, though it definitely has some themes that are very important, I feel like, to youth, and you generally find in youth stories, right, about biting off too much you can chew, and the idea of what you think you want and maybe not needing what you want in some ways. But there are some Taoist elements and the idea that names have power. Those are pretty much primary components of the story. There's also the idea of cosmic balance, and this is the type of magic where true names in an ancient language are a thing, right? You can see how this influenced some later fantasy, probably. The world building itself is approached anthropologically, specifically with influence from Native American and Norse cultures, which is cool, and I liked that. Anything anthropologically done is fine. I mean, I was an anthropology major for a while there. Earthsea itself has several different peoples. The islands were raised by Sogoi before myth, as it were, which is a myth itself. So, I mean, anyways, Ged himself learns much from his dislike of the boy Jasper, I should mention, who is another student. His rivalry leads him to blunder really terribly in some ways. It's his blunders that he needs to fix in this story. That's rather poetic, as you can imagine, and it's a magical journey of overcoming your natural faults, and it has dragons. The style of the writing itself comes off as very distant and not personal, at least in my opinion. This makes it hard to engage with the story, but thankfully it's easy to follow and it's quite short. But that being said, I wasn't very blown away by this classic. Now, that tends to happen for with books for me that are for younger audiences, so that probably has something to do with it. But hopefully, I gave you good enough thoughts on the book. But I'll just end it saying that I wasn't actually a big fan. But they probably get better from what I've heard so far, because I've seen like essays written on this series before. It just took me forever to actually get to them. So, anyways, I'll probably continue the series at some point. But again, I wasn't blown away by Wizard of Earthsea, though I think Guin probably does a decent job here for her intended audience. I'm not her intended audience. Anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I will catch you next time.